Welcome to my very first episode. My name is Komal and this is The Criminal Bloom. Thank you so much for hitting play. I'm broadcasting right here from Canada, and today I want to talk about a case that is right across the border from us. It took place in Manassas Park, Northern Virginia, and it's a story that has absolutely broken my heart. This is the case of Mamta Kafle Bhatt. So before we dive into the details of this case, I just want to make sure that I'm getting one thing completely clear. Everything that we are discussing today regarding this case and regarding this suspect, it's legally all an allegation. The prosecution believes that this person is a perpetrator and this person has not been convicted of a crime yet, and that means they are proved innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So let's talk about who Mamta was. So Mamta was an absolute light. She was a deeply devoted mother and she worked as a registered pediatric nurse. She was born and raised in Nepal, and her friends and family always described her as being extremely hardworking, kind, and compassionate. It's said that from a very young age, Mamta knew exactly what she wanted to do with her life, and she wanted to do something that she was actively helping other people. So she went into nursing. She completed her nursing education and earned all her certifications right there in Nepal. It was during this time that she met Naresh Bhatt. Naresh originally was from Nepal as well, but he had moved to the United States and was living in Virginia. He was serving as a U.S. Army Reserve Specialist and briefly trying out a career as a police recruit. I cannot say that he was successful in these things, as that is what research has told me, but I'm not gonna dig deeper into that. The two met through a traditional matchmaking process, fell in love, and then they got married. In 2021, after Mamta finished her education, they made a massive decision to move to America together. Just like every young couple, they were looking for more opportunities and ready to build a beautiful future. But making that move meant Mamta had to leave her entire support system back in Nepal. She didn't know anybody in the United States. She left her mom, her brother, her close friends, and everything that she had ever known in regards to comfort and safety, just to start this brand new life across the world. Once they settled into their suburban home in Virginia, things had began to shift, and at work, Mamta started slowly becoming more open with her coworkers about her relationship. She confided in them that she was deeply unhappy with Naresh and that she wanted to get a divorce. It wasn't just emotional distress either, it was her coworkers seeing physical bruises on her. Despite the growing nightmare behind closed doors, Mamta's world completely lit up in 2023 when she had her daughter. I will not be saying the name of her daughter just because she is a baby, and I feel like she still deserves the right to be confidential. Mamta wanted to give her daughter absolutely everything, every ounce of love, safety, and opportunity that any mother would want for their child, and her baby was the absolute apple of her eye. But then suddenly Mamta vanished. Okay, so based on the police's investigation, they believe that Mamta went missing sometime between late Monday night, July 29th, 2024, and early morning of July 30th, 2024. So on July 31st, Mamta completely missed her shift at the hospital and her coworkers were alarmed. They were like, what the heck is happening here? Mamta is a dedicated nurse. She would never, under any circumstance, just not show up for work and abandon her patients. They started calling and texting her frantically, and then they quickly realized that her phone was actually turned off. Every single text they sent went unread, and every single call they made went straight to voicemail. Seeing that she wasn't answering, they sensed that something was completely wrong, and they had called the authorities to do a wellness check. They told the county, like, hey, like, this is super weird. We haven't heard from her in a few days. She's missed her shifts. Please go check on her. When the police went to Mamta and Naresh's home to conduct a wellness check, Naresh opened their door and he was actually holding their baby girl. There's actual police body cam footage of this entire interaction, and the way Naresh is acting is absolutely jarring. He's extremely nonchalant. He's completely unbothered. And he straight up told them that my wife is not missing. She just went to New York or Texas to go visit family. So because of this information, and because her husband, Mamta's husband, was saying that, you know, she's not missing, she's actually gone on her free will, the police had their hands tied, and unfortunately they had to leave. Like, they cannot take their investigation any higher than that, because and it's a law. But outside of their home, everybody that knew Mamta was terrified. They were like, she would never leave her baby girl behind, and they started putting pressure on Naresh, like, hey, this is not like Mamta, you need to report her missing. So eventually he did report her missing, and it did take him 6 friggin' days to do so, and he called them and filed a missing persons report on August 6th. And guys, okay, so he filed the missing persons report, and guess what? The moment he filed the report, his story started changing. So from here, after the report, the police launched a full investigation and quickly realized that Naresh's original story was a lie. Mamta didn't have any family in Texas or New York. All of her family was back in Nepal. So investigators started digging deeper into the surveillance footage and cell phone tower pings, and also Naresh's digital footprint. And let's just say all of this data, it uncovered suspicious activities. So first, prosecutors pulled the data logs from his work computer. So prosecutors are alleging that months before her disappearance, Naresh was Googling things like, how long does it take to get married after your spouse dies? And also, what happens to the debt of a deceased spouse? So then after that, they started tracking his physical movements. Investigators alleged that the day after Mamta disappeared, surveillance footage caught Naresh at Walmart buying a pack of 3 distinct knives, and that the very next day they caught him on camera buying heavy-duty cleaning supplies. So cell phone data also showed him driving to different remote dumpsters and trash sites in the area immediately after she went missing. So after this, they realized that they had to work fast. Investigators secured a search warrant for the house, and honestly, thank God that they did, because Allegedly, Naresh was preparing to disappear. He had already sold his Tesla, he had put his house on sale, and when they had showed up, he had his passports out on the counter, and it just seemed like he was about to flee the country. So on August 22nd of 2024, police swarmed the house and arrested Naresh. So Mamta's remains, unfortunately and tragically, have never been found. But what happened within the home, as per forensic evidence, states something has happened. So when forensic teams sprayed the house with luminol, it lit up, and they found massive pools of blood in the primary bedroom and bathroom. So it's proving that there had been a violent attack that had occurred, and even more chillingly, investigators recovered a handheld power saw from the home. They had done a forensic lab result that revealed that the saw had contained human blood, 3 intact hairs, and 13 hair fragments. The prosecution's theory is incredibly dark, and they allege that he used that saw to dismember her body and cover up the crime. Naresh has since been indicted of first-degree murder, concealing a dead body, and defiling a corpse, and he has pleaded not guilty to all of the counts. Now, honestly, this is something that I was wondering, and me doing research into it. Why did this case take so long? Like, why is this not an open and shut case? So this case took so long because the investigation is massive. The defense has requested a long delay because the state has turned in more than 4,000 pieces of evidence and 1.5 terabytes of data. And this is including intense GPS tracking, DNA analysis, and internet history. And just to ensure a fair legal process, the court has pushed the court date back. Naresh Bhatt's 7-week jury trial is now officially set to October 5th of 2026. Through all of this horror, the community truly gathered together in an incredible way. They held searches, organized vigils, and refused to let Mamta be forgotten. There is a beautiful piece of light in this tragedy, and it is that the judge officially granted full custody of baby to Mamta's mom and her brother, who flew all the way in from Nepal. She is safe, surrounded by the people that truly loved her mom, and they're going to keep her mom's memory alive forever. Mamta Kafle Bhatt's voice was stolen from her, but the evidence that she left behind will speak volumes in the courtroom. Thank you so much for listening to my premiere episode of The Criminal Bloom. If you want to follow the case updates as we approach the trial in October of 2026, please hit that follow button, subscribe, and share this episode. I will be discussing his court case further when the time comes, and hopefully Mamta finally gets the justice that she deserves. Stay safe, look out for each other, and see you in the next one.